Welcome to Inbox, where your questions land in front of cybersecurity experts like me. Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm a director of technical support at a cybersecurity company called Fortinet. There are a number of us here covering different products and regions. Basically, I lead a team of tech problem solvers. We help other companies use Fortinet's products to keep their computer systems safe from hackers and viruses. Imagine if your school's Wi-Fi suddenly started acting up, or someone tried to hack into the school's computers. That's where my team would step in. We work with IT teams at other organizations to implement our security solutions, set up security rules, look for signs of suspicious activity, and set up automatic responses to potential threats. And when something isn't working right with our products, we try to figure out what's going on and help fix it. And today, I'm here to answer your questions from my inbox. Let's see what we have. Here's the question. I'm entering grade 12 and trying to decide what to major in. What did you study in university, and was it cybersecurity related? I can definitely tell you that cybersecurity was not at all on my radar during my bachelor's degree. Initially, I was focused on applied research in the area of optics. I thought that light traveling through fiber optic cable was pretty cool. But apart from the fact that the math involved was very difficult, I started to realize that perhaps a pure research role was not the best one for me anyway. After all, I might spend much of my life in a dark room, running tests and collecting data, only reappearing to talk to people at lunchtime. But just as I realized research might not be the best focus for me, another opportunity sprung up. It was cybersecurity. At the risk of dating myself, I'll admit that when I was graduating from university, use of the internet was still a new thing. But an employer approached me about working at building the internet using products called routers. I hadn't prepared for this field, but that's okay, because neither had others. And it was only later that cybersecurity would come about. Before we could secure the internet, we had to build it. So here's a tip I would offer based upon my experience. I think it's good to prepare for a field. Just be ready to take other unexpected opportunities that might arise. It seems like tech is evolving so fast. How have you seen cybersecurity evolve over the years? In the early days of my career, the goal with the internet was to connect people and offices. To make communications easier, bigger was better. But then the focus started to shift to not only enabling communications, but also considering how to secure communication channels and the associated data assets. After all, your data is important, and there are some bad actors out there who might be listening in. Before, security was something added on after the fact. Now it's part of the plan when rolling out anything new, be it servers or networks. What are some challenges with cybersecurity today? Two things come to mind: consistency and information overload. In software development, people talk about spaghetti code that's hard to make sense out of. The same thing can happen when security policies are rolled out inconsistently. Doing it right at the outset can reduce the possibility of security gaps or flaws and make it easier to troubleshoot. Another big problem is information overload. Having too much information can potentially paralyze you. Recently, there's been a lot of attention on how to automate analysis and response so that companies are not as easily overwhelmed by all the threat data that is gathered. What does a normal day in technical support even look like? Do you just answer calls all day? Much of our work is customer driven, and yes, perhaps 3 to 4 hours a day we're on the phones. When I say on the phone, in reality, we're usually in a remote session where customers can show us their issue and we can troubleshoot issues live. But we also spend time in between researching issues and the underlying technology, double checking how a feature is supposed to work, and reproducing behavior in our lab environment. If we find what appears to be a bug, We write up a report and then follow up with the other teams to get a fix. We share information with other team members throughout the day in web chat, and twice a week, we have brainstorming sessions as a group where we review scenarios together. And although we have a separate team of technical writers, we in support do occasionally write short technical articles that help customers or staff. What's something about your job that people would never expect to be fun, but actually is? The threats and the ways of protecting against them are always evolving. This keeps things fresh. Also, when working with products and solutions that have so many features, we never know what combination of features our customers will use in their deployments. When we take an incoming call, there's often something new about the scenario a customer describes. But we can draw upon past knowledge to explore the new issue presented by the customer. And technical support in cybersecurity offers variety in another sense also. It gives us the opportunity to work not only with products and solutions, but also with people. I've enjoyed how technical support has enabled me to hone my analytical skills while also allowing me to communicate with people. I work in retail at the mall and have to deal with customers all the time. What are customers like in technical support? Customers do sometimes complain about the product or our support, but in general, they're really appreciative. We empower our customers to better use our products to protect their company's use of the internet. The end result? Happier customers and a safer internet. Who else do you have to work with? Like, is it just your team or a bunch of other teams too? Outside of working with teams who support other products, for us that would probably be quality assurance, aka QA, and software development, aka dev teams. These teams help us to find both workarounds and long-term fixes to bugs in our software, and tend to be pretty responsive. But to keep up a good rapport with those teams, we need to do our job right. If at all possible, we need to explain how to reproduce a problem. And the way a problem is described to our dev team might be quite different than how a customer reports it. Two other teams we work with are sales and product management. They can be challenging to work with at times from a support standpoint for different reasons. Sometimes in support, we think our sales team overreacts to customer complaints, but in their defense, the sales team are just trying to ensure that we maintain a good relationship with our customers. As a customer's needs evolve, we want to be there to explain new solutions to them, but we can't do that if we're not on speaking terms with them. And then there's the product management team, who defines how products and services are to be designed. There can be confusion about how our products were really intended to work, making our job of support difficult. Is what we are seeing a bug or the original design? Like judges in a courtroom, our product management team can give the official verdict. It can take a while to get an answer sometimes, but they do have to take care with their responses to make sure they're accurate. If you had to hire a high schooler right now, what would you look for besides technical skill? Strong communication skills are a must. And that isn't only about the ability to explain or convince, but also being able to listen carefully and reflect back what a customer is saying, so the customer knows that their issue is understood. Not only is it important to work on the right issue, but active listening goes a long way toward calming customers and building their confidence in your ability to resolve the issue. Having the right mindset to tackling problems is also an asset. Don't give up. I'm interested in cybersecurity, but I don't always have everything memorized or know the answers to problems. Is that something that's required? Not really. Remembering keywords and concepts is important. Beyond that, the information is usually at your fingertips. However, what is important is having a curiosity about how things work and being creative about how you go about tackling problems. I look for people who can take new tips and hints and run with them. It's entirely okay if you admit some doubt about a course of action. In fact, being able to assess and explain the level of confidence you have and why is an asset. If I start out doing hands-on tech stuff, can I still become a manager someday? Or is it like once you pick a path, you're stuck? Not at all. In fact, a purely technical role is often a great place to start if technical management is something you have set your sights on. Having had some prior technical experience can help you develop some street cred with those you manage when the time comes. After acquiring some experience in the technical field, moving on to a management role might be good if you're interested in what it takes for technical teams to succeed. It can give you the opportunity to step back and see the evolving trends, but some of your technical skill sets might get a little rusty. If you've established a technical track record prior to management, you can always return to a purely technical role. As a people manager, I enjoy studying the trends and considering what initiatives could be taken to see our team work more efficiently and achieve more success. That's it for today's questions. If there's one thing to remember, it's this. Having the right support can make all the difference in staying safe online. If something doesn't seem right, talk to your school's IT team or a reliable source who can help.